You're listening to us here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. It is the radio with a difference, and we're definitely covering you from coast to coast. It is time for a rebroadcast of The Glenn Nall Show.
You know, miracles are the handiwork of our Creator. Whenever you hear the word miracle, you think about God Almighty. Joshua, you remember he made David slaughter Goliath with a single slingshot and a stone? Yeah. Yeah. He made the blind see, the dumb talk, and the deaf hear. He even cast out zombies from the wicked. We need our Creator in Guyana now, more than ever, Josh, to cast out the demons in some of our leaders and cleanse this land of the wickedness that is going on. When I was at the oil conference in Trinidad last week, my Creator gifted me with a miracle, which I want to share with all of you tonight. Joshua, you hear me? I'm sharing with all of you tonight. So guys, please call your friends, your neighbors, your families, and brace yourselves for a bombshell in which our Vice President is featured prominently. Stay tuned. I promise you will not be disappointed. Did I say namaste? No, I didn't. So let me say namaste now to all you wonderful people. God is great and God is good. Let's begin. During the budget debate in Parliament last week, the opposition used the words corruption and incompetence to describe what will happen in some of our projects set out in the 2023 budget. Then, out of the blues, comes the Speaker of the House, Mr. Manzoor Nadir. He told the opposition that the words corruption and incompetence are unparliamentary and they must not use it in the House of Parliament anymore. In short, guys, Manzoor Nadir banned the words corruption and incompetence from Parliament. Now, what is this, uncle? Soon, they're going to ban that in school. And then they're going to put out a law to ban everyone from talking about corruption and incompetence right across this country. So from now on, I am afraid I am not going to say the word corruption. I am afraid to say the word corruption or they're stupid because all of y'all oh my gosh, this is unbelievable what is happening in this country. You banning the opposition from using the word incompetent and corruption in Parliament, man? Huh? Well, I will tell you all this. Anytime they tell Glenn Lal, I can't use the words corruption and incompetence in the newspapers, on the radio, or out of my mouth, y'all kiss me goodbye because I will go anywhere and everywhere and cuss them more bad with corruption and incompetence. I can't believe until now that this really happened in Parliament. the place that is known more than any other part of the country for corruption and incompetence. Most of them, if not all of them in there, are corrupt and incompetent, meaning stupid and crooked. That is where the biggest wheeling and dealing is galang. That is where every corrupt deal starts and ends. And out of all person, Mansoor Nadir, a man who I believe to be a man of some kind of good standing, would suddenly take over the role of the Lord and come up with his own miracle to inflict on the opposition MPs. This chap even take over the role of the Attorney General, uncle and auntie. He making his own law in Parliament. I believe these things happening in Guyana. Every hour of the day, corruption and incompetence start staring you in your face, bombarding our brains. It is so much of a cancer from top to bottom in our minds and in our souls. My newspapers and this radio can't even begin to cope or expose, yes, to expose the amount of corruption and incompetence that's going on in this land. And the Honorable Mansoor Nadir telling the MPs they mustn't talk about corruption and incompetence. I want him to know, when you have glass house, my friend, you don't pelt bricks. And I will leave it at that for tonight. Remember, I told you guys on Friday that the conversation in this country has to change. And it has to change at every rum shop, every corner road, lunch break, dinner table, in your prayer homes, in your own homes. I hope you guys have started this change, this new gaffe. I can only hope, because you're dealing with some magicians for politicians. And the magicians always tell you, the more you watch, the less you see, and the less you see is better for he. That is the leader's mantra in this land. They don't want you to see. They don't want you to know. They don't want you to think. And they don't want you to hear. Well, last you heard any one of them host a press conference, a real one. Y'all answer the question. President Ali has never held a press conference since he took office, going into 3 years now. To talk about this US $1 trillion oil discovery in Guyana. And whenever he is confronted, be it by the ordinary citizens or reporters with questions on this oil sector, he reacts as if someone tampering with his manhood. Man, I shouldn't be telling you guys how he behaves and how he reacts. You have seen and heard him many times for yourselves on this radio station and at different venues. This country's oil is the eyeball and the talk of the world, and our president is hiding from coming to the front about what is going on in this oil sector. He appointed Vice President Barajagdeo to the role. Yes. He placed him in charge of this great oil wealth discovered in this land. Barajagdeo has held a couple press conferences since they came into office 2020, 30 months ago. And none of them was on oil, but on other things going on in this country. This is how they're educating and leading you. This is the kind of leadership that you guys are proud of. And this is the kind of governance under which we exist. We are the talk of the world, and your leader's not talking to you. And out of that few press conferences Barra Jagdeo had, he talks very little or nothing about this oil. Matter of fact, if he's not asked and pressed about the oil, man, you would never hear anything coming out his mouth. And to avoid questions, Uncle and Auntie, on this oil at his press conferences, he often shies away and takes questions from his media, from the state media, and friendly media houses that don't ask questions on oil. And he would often say to the private media houses who are asking him the questions on oil, oh, we will come back to you just now. Let's finish with them and we will take all the questions after. Uncle, when he does come back to you or to us, he takes one or two questions and say, time is running out. We will deal with the other questions at our next press conference. Uncle, Auntie, any one of you can go back and look at all their press conferences on YouTube or on the PPP page, Facebook page, and be the judge for yourselves. Don't take my word for it. Go and look at it. Go and look at all of them. Now hear this, Auntie. Barra Jagdeo promised one of my oil reporters, a girl named Kiana Wilberg, a one-on-one radio interview since December 2020. Let me repeat it, man. He promised my oil reporter since 2020 with a one-on-one interview. My reporter has been in constant communication with him many times. And it's one excuse after another he keeps making. At his last press conference held on December 9th, I was absent. My reporter again reminded him about his promise. He said, yes, I didn't forget. 2 years have passed. To be exact, it's now 25 months. And our vice president still can't find one single hour to sit with a real independent journalist from an independent media house, the Kaieteur News, to talk to this nation about our oil and what's going on. Isn't that beautiful? But he can find time, Uncle and Auntie, to sit down many times with a nincompoop, a man nicknamed Critic that call himself a reporter and spends many hours talking Nancy stories and selling his version of the Guyana dreams to the nation. This is the man President Ali put to head our US $1 trillion industry. Baba weaving, hiding, running, and ducking from the real media houses and real journalists. Hope I see what's going on in this country with y'all future and y'all children's future. Y'all hopes, y'all aspirations, and y'all dreams about prosperity for a better life. I only hope I seeing. You guys can go back and look at my radio program with him in September. 5 months ago, he had indicated on that very program that he would be back the next week. What happened, Uncle? 5 months passed, and I am still waiting to have the Vice President sit across from me, and so that we can have a frank discussion on our gigantic gold, timber, bauxite, manganese, and our oil wealth. Let me remind all of you, rain or no rain, sunshine or no sunshine, when Bharat Jagde was the opposition leader, he made it his duty to hold press conferences every single week. I don't think there was a week that passed when he didn't hold a press conference to talk to this nation. He even used to go out to the radio and television stations to talk to the nation. This was how dedicated and passionate he was when he was in the opposition. Today, yes, today, Uncle, when he's sitting at the helm of the government, what are you hearing? What are you seeing? You're seeing nothing, and you're hearing absolute silence. End of the year 2022, come and gone, and he didn't hold a press conference, leaving all of us in the dark as to what is going on, what he has achieved, where Guyana is heading. You're still in the dark. January 2023 is set to fly past. Yes, fly past like a bird in the sky, running from a Kaieteur. And we still have no idea if a press conference will be held in this month. We are hearing about Guyana's fabulous oil wealth, with the massive oil finds, one after the other, from the oil companies them. And your leaders, yes, our leaders, both government and opposition, President, Vice President, opposition leader, Aubrey Norton and Ramjatan, all silent. We are hearing more about our oil from Hess Corporation, who's a junior partner with ExxonMobil. More. We are hearing from that company or John Hess, the boss, more about our oil than from our president, vice president, Vikram Bharat, Aubrey Norton, and Ramjatan. And this is the fastest growing economy on earth per citizens. Y'all doing great, eh? Hess Corporation boasting to their shareholders every 3 months, every quarter, how rich they're going to become. They told us a few days ago, the last 3 months in 2022, they made 624 million US in profit, and is set to walk away with over 2 billion US. Yes, 2 billion US every year with that 2 ships alone pumping oil. You know, when I read that story, I am thinking it's better we all become shareholders of those oil companies out there, rather than be the shareholder of the owners of the wealth out there. You hear what I said there? It's better we become shareholder with them and make more money than be a shareholder in the oil that we own out there. We will know more and we will get more. May God bless all of you. And I mean that from my heart. And I hope God bless our leaders too for doing this to this nation. Even if I say namaste. Namaste means the divineness within me I extend to all of you, including those eyes. Yes, including them too. Namaste. Last week, while sitting at the oil conference, that after producing oil and gas for the last 100 years, they have already joined the Asian and African Club of countries, where their citizens didn't benefit from the oil wealth. Yeah. And now they are worse off than before they discovered oil and gas in Trinidad. That's where Trinidad is. Uncle and Auntie, the beauty of Guyana is that we are heading there. But, it is a but. We can stop that. We can stop this express runaway train from running on the tracks. Yes, from running on the tracks that those countries traveled on and ended up in a wreck. You hear me, Uncle? We can stop it. We can stop it. We can stop this runaway train that is running away on the tracks that those countries traveled on and ended up in a wreck or a disastrous wreck. This can only come about not only with Glenn Lal's voice, but when national conversation of this country changes. Guys, unless you change this gaffe, change the discussions you guys having in this country, this oil train will keep barreling for full speed ahead without any brakes. You hear me, brothers and sisters? Without any brakes, and run over every single one of us. Uncle and Auntie, brothers and sisters, I appeal to you all. I beg all of you, don't let this happen to Guyana. And don't let your leaders do this to you and your children. Please, I beg you. I beg all of you. Those countries are where they are today, not because of bad and corrupt leaders alone. Those countries reach that state when good people like you, yes, good people like you, turn a blind eye and remain silent. Silent when evil overflows. This is what has been happening in this country from ever since, Uncle. Some of you say, don't worry, it's our we people, it's our we race, it's our we own party. Let them do what they want. This is a mantra that I have been witness throughout my lifetime in this country. I have lived to see how y'all as Guyanese see race, see religion, and party as your gods, and become blinded to the reality of what is unfolding right before your eyes. How? Because of race, religion, and party, you are willingly and recklessly contributing to the destruction of your own livelihood and your future prosperity. This is exactly what happened in Asia and Africa when they found oil. They see their own tribe, uncle. Yes, not race. Their own tribe they see. And politics, rather than seeing where the leaders are taking them. That has impoverished Africa and Asia today. Yes. Today. 1 hour ago, there's a program on BBC. Just 1 hour ago, I turned on the television. A program on BBC in which they were showcasing Africa. Africa is in so much, owes China so much, that China is now talking, now negotiating with them to see if they can reduce, not the debt, but in terms of payment. Africa has to pay them. Yes, just now, 17 African countries, not 1, not 2, not 3. Yes, they're running around with big bowls at the banking institutions of the World Bank to bail them out with the already huge debts they got sitting on the nation's shoulder necks. Pakistan. Pakistan is an Asian country. Yes. I was looking at the news only yesterday. Yesterday, uncle. Who took over? Yesterday, a new leader. A leader that took over from Imran Khan, the cricketer, sitting down at the IMF. Yes, only yesterday. With his foot and hands wide open, begging for a loan to bail out Pakistan as to where it finds itself today. It's a good thing Imran Khan won the elections, and the very first thing he did was to reverse some of the Chinese projects the previous president had latched on to for roads, highways, railways, and so on. Hadn't he reversed and cancelled some of those major projects, China was pushing down Pakistan's throat. 2023 would have never meet for Pakistan to go meet the World Bank or the IMF for bailout. They would have been there long time ago. If it wasn't for the sweet and irresistible Chinese loans to fatten the politicians' pocket, uncle. Oh. Pakistan with 226 million people would have never found itself where it is today. China is known to sell you beautiful, well-decorated bamboo basket for fetch water and tell you that is development. I want you to name one country on earth that really benefited and succeeded with any Chinese loan. Y'all must ask Sri Lanka and Africa, the Maldives, what they're going through presently. China Belt and Road Initiative has turned out to be a hangman belt around the necks of those countries' citizens. That is what the leaders did. Yes. Stretch their hands, open their pockets. You didn't know what I said. They stretched their hand and opened their pockets to grab from China and left their people to pay huge loans. Our own president, yes, our own President Ali, just join the bandwagon. 2 weeks ago he said, it's in the Kaieteur News, read it. Guyana is not threatened by Chinese investment loans. And went on to say China is very important to this country's development. It's the same thing those African leaders, Asian and all over, tell people. Yeah, the exact words used by all those world leaders. Yes. Chinese loans have a long history, my brother and sister, of breaking bones and crushing stones. Yes. They're crushing all those countries. We already have a set of loans owed to China on different projects. The airport is one of them. 138 million American dollars. Yes. The new Demerara Harbor Bridge is going to be another one. The East Coast Demerara Road, the Amelia Falls Hydro Project was to be one. The Skeldon plant and many other loans from China still sitting down on our heads, waiting to be paid. Our debt has just passed 3 billion US. And instead of Ali taking out the oil money and pay off with debt so citizens can breathe and live a comfortable life, he's spending it out on projects after projects through the budgets in which 3/4 of it will be huffed out. And what I said? You mustn't talk about corruption in Parliament. Oh, brother. And more debts are being taken out as the day goes by in your name, Auntie. Yes, in your names and my name. To be left for our children and grandchildren to pay. Remember, you're being played while they're being paid. I love that slogan. He's not afraid to take loans to develop Guyana. And all y'all clapping hands. Oh, we need highways. We're going to need more bridges and ports. Soon, President Ali and say we need electric railways in Guyana, like Pakistan and Africa. America and Jagdeo done pushing the Wales gas plant that will cost more money than what Guyana owe all its lifetime. That will become a total failure even before it starts, uncle. But this one, you don't have to worry about. You don't have to worry about the Wales one, uncle. The cost is tied directly to the oil money. You know what I said? Don't worry about the Wales, the 3 billion. That debt tied to the oil money. That coming out in advance before you get your profit from the oil. Yes. Before you get a little oil money come to you. Yes. That money coming out before to go pay for the Wales gas. It's being huffed out. Yes, to go pay for the $3 billion. Paying for something that doesn't make sense. Only Jagdeo and President Ali, that makes sense to. Not a single other Guyanese, other than the two of them, that makes sense to. You know, it's a good thing to have faith. It's keep you alive. It keeps you healthy. Without it, uncle and auntie, I don't know if life would be worth living. What do you say, auntie? I got my ears susu in my ears on the radio. Are you getting tired? Take it easy, man, and now start talk. Sit down, relax. And let me take you guys straight to the miracle God sent to me in Trinidad. You will smile with this. I have been talking forever about two things in the since the oil discovery. And I have never stopped talking about them. Let me repeat them. Renegotiation of the contract and ring fencing. Two things only. Renegotiation and ring fencing. Well, everybody understand what renegotiation of a contract is. I don't have to explain that. But that two words, ring fencing, 99% of the Guyanese people do not still understand or didn't get it as yet. And I know y'all memory bad. I want all of you, after this program, to please keep ring fencing. And what it means in y'all heads, it must stick, uncle and auntie. It must be at the forefront of this new conversation we must all have. Auntie, you should sleep with it. You should wake with it. You should eat with it. You should drive with it. You should never stop thinking about it. Yes, this should be your second Bible, Bhagavad Gita or the Quran. That is how important those two words, ring fencing, is to this country and all of us. Future. Future. Like I said earlier, ring fencing is bigger, richer, and more important than the 50% profit share plus the 1% royalty they say we get in. Uncle and auntie, this is the most important thing in this whole oil business that can send all Guyana to its graveyard with our eyes wide open. This is something Bharat Jagdev knows more than anyone else in this country. And you will hear him. Yes, you will hear for yourself in his own words what he had to say when he was the leader of the opposition in 2019. Please, I am begging you, listen carefully to what he said and how he said it about renegotiation and ring fencing of the ExxonMobil contract. Could you play that tape for me, please?
They sold us out to the foreigners. The oil companies, every time there is a find out there, our people should be sad because nothing comes our way. We are going to renegotiate those contracts because that's not what we had in mind. When we were in the early days, we were coaxing the people to go along. They came into office, 2 billion barrels of proven reserves, and then gave up a zero royalty, no taxes, no ring fencing.
No ring fencing. Man, uncle, auntie, I'll see why I love today's technology more than anything else. It's a new miracle our Creator gave us to capture all the hustlers, the schemers, all the tricksters, all the demons that surround us today. Let me ask, was that Bharat Jagdev voice we heard there just now? Was this the man who came across like a champion, a warrior for the Guyanese people? Huh? Was he? You sure was he? Y'all hear what a man said? Renegotiation and ring fencing is a must. If he party get back into power, it gonna happen. It got to happen. Uncle Auntie, almost 3 years, Jack Dale back in power and heading that same oil sector that he said he gonna do so many wonderful and beautiful things. Where is that Jack Dale's voice now? Where is that Jack Dale? The one who you hear. You know what's his position? He said many times after that, he never talked about renegotiation. He talked about better contract management. Now what do you say about such an individual that you just hear about? The one you heard just now. Yes, just now. From before. And the one you're dealing with today. What you say about those people? Can you trust someone who promises you? Yes. So passionately, so powerfully, how they will renegotiate the contract. Yes. And make sure ring fencing is in there. When he was out of office. And today when he's in office, yes, the lion turned into a pussycat. His actions, his words, and postures today is more of a man who is pretending to be clueless, helpless, powerless, and useless when he has to deliver on his own promises. Oh, what a tangled web we weave when we first practice to deceive. Here is a man. I have told you many times on this radio program, I never trust a single word, much less a sentence that comes out of his mouth. Thank God Almighty that every program I do, He's giving me the wisdom to unearth evil and expose these pretenders and imposters you are so much in love with. Thank God. He's giving me the wisdom to show y'all so that you could see and hear for yourselves. Yes. Hear our champion. Yes, a warrior. You want to hear him one more time? Play him back again, man.
They sold us out to the foreigners. The oil companies, every time they find out there, our people should be sad because nothing comes our way. We are going to renegotiate those contracts because that's not what we had in mind. When we were in the early days, we were coaxing the people to go along. They came into office, 3 billion barrels of proven reserves, and then gave up a zero royalty, no taxes, no ring fencing.
Renegotiation is a must. No taxes, 0% royalty and ring fencing. Let me take you back to that 2 words, ring fencing, uncle and auntie. Please, you need to listen. This is huge. This thing is big. This thing can leave Guyana a trillion times worse than where Africa is. Forget about the royalty, forget about the profit share, forget about everything else. Listen, ring fencing is the man. I fed up talk about it, but I have to talk about it. Because when I speak to people on the streets and I talk to intelligent people, this fencing just like, oh, okay. Without that rule, uncle, that provision in place to fence each oil project, uncle and auntie, let me repeat, is like leaving your front door with the safe in your house wide open for the bandits to come and take what they want and leave a couple pieces of broke-up jewelry and a few dollar bills for you in the safe. And Jack Dale, all persons, know that more than anybody else in this country. You heard him just now. You heard him. Or you want to play him back? Could you please play back again? Play him back.
They sold us out to the foreigners. The oil companies, every time there is a find out there, our people should be sad because nothing comes our way. We are going to renegotiate those contracts because that's not what we had in mind. When we were in the early days, we were coaxing the people to go along. They came into office, $3 billion of proven reserves, and then gave up a zero royalty, no taxes, no ring fencing.
Oh boy, thank you, Father, for sending that tape. But let's get back. Let me make it more simple for y'all, uncle. Without the ring fencing provision, without a ring fencing provision in business, you can lose 99% from your coconut estate, 99% from your gold, diamond, or rice fields. You can lose 99% of the provision in your farms, or you can lose 99% of all the oil you guys out there. That is more important, again, let me repeat, than the 1% plus royalty you're getting with that shitty 50-50 profit sharing. And who knows that more than anybody else? Vice President Bharat Jagdeo. You heard how he cussed down the coalition for not installing a ring fencing provision in Liza 1, 2. Yes, for Guyana to get its rightful share of oil from each project. President Ali and Jagdeo took over, and instead they put a halt and correct this most important aspect of the oil sector, in which Exxon running off with 99% of the oil. This same Jagdeo went ahead and approved more and more projects without that provision being installed. Are you hearing me, man? He went ahead and approved Liza 3, which is Payara. Then Liza 4, which is Yellowtail, without that same ring fencing protection. Now he's going to approve Liza 5, Yarao, without asking or demanding any taxes or a cent more on that 0% royalty he talked about, or the lopsided contract. And I am betting every one of you, my last dollar, uncle, he will approve that 5th project with no ring fencing to protect us from being robbed of our rightful half and half profit share from that project too. Anybody bet in Glenlal? Let's bet. Call me after this program and let's bet. Uncle and auntie, which farmer you know in this whole world would allow their business partner to keep on piling up bills upon bills from here, there, and everywhere on your mango tree, in which you have to get half and half profit. You know anybody? In a nutshell, that is what ring fencing means. Our ring fencing is all about, uncle. Each mango tree should bear its own expenses so that you can get your full 50-50 share, uncle. That's the only way you can get your full share of half and half profits, guys. Isn't that true, Josh?
Yeah.
If you allow the man to keep spending all over the place in Jamaica, in Sri Lanka, in India, and throw it on the mango tree, what will happen to your profit? You will end up getting nothing. That is why Guyana is getting nothing from the oil presently. You should have been getting billions in US dollars as the year goes by. But you're only getting a couple $100 million. What can't fit in your teeth hole? Because Jagdeo is allowing them to carry on that skullduggery, that trick, that thievery. Yes, on our oil. And what he did? Approving more and more projects for them to continue doing us that all the time. At the end of the oil in Guyana, hear me loud and clear. I have said it umpteen times. All the little couscous money y'all collected from the oil would not be enough to pay the oil companies them with this type of arrangement. With this type of arrangement, Ali, Jagdeo, Norton, and Ramjatan allowing to happen in this country. Like I said, uncle, without ring fencing, uncle and auntie, 99% of all the oil will vanish into the pockets of the oil companies. You guys see why this ring fencing is so very, very, very important? Just remember, man, ring on your finger and the fence your neighbor have or you have. You hear me? Just remember the fence. Right. And every time you watch the ring and the fence, remember the fence is to protect your ring from the thief man passing by. Ring fencing is what these people doing, Ayo. Yes. Is what these people doing to Alia. That's what they're doing to this country. Are they hypocrites? You're wondering if they're corrupt or you think they're stupid. Just asking. I love you people. Could you play back that tape for me, please?
They sold us out to the foreigners. The oil companies, every time there is a find out there, our people should be sad because nothing comes our way. We are going to renegotiate those contracts because that's not what we had in mind. When we were in the early days, we were coaxing the people to go along. They came into office, 3 billion barrels of proven reserves, and then gave up a zero royalty, no taxes, no ring fencing.
Zero taxes. No ring fencing. They give away the taxes. Y'all really believe that they're stupid? Huh? I'm just asking. I love all of you. God bless you people. You know, but Joshua, a friend said, Glenn, Guyana is not the land of many waters anymore. It has become the land of many waivers. Yes, waivers. Them waiving the taxes. They're waiving full liability coverage. They're waiving the cleanup money. They're waiving the flaring rules. We're waiving the dumping of produced water with the deadly chemicals into our ocean. We waive the fishing industry and their families into starvation. And now we're waiving ring fencing to send all of us to our graves with our eyes wide open. You know, I feel like singing a song, but I don't know which one will be appropriate. You guys can call me and let me know which one to sing. I'm going to try it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Joshua.
Yes, sir.
Friday night program, I talked about President Ali's speech he delivered at the Trinidad Oil Conference and promised you guys I would play the entire 23 minutes speech after the program for y'all to listen to. Uncle and Auntie, during my program, there was over 2,600 people viewing it live on Facebook. When I came off the program and continued the program with President Ali's speech, 50 people out of that 2,600 stayed on to listen to his entire speech. Does that tell you guys anything?
If not, something wrong.
You know, Joshua, guys, after President Ali told my reporter he is open and transparent and he's easily accessible anytime, just send the questions to him and he will respond. My first question I sent to him was asking him, what's the interest rate Guyana is paying on the oil investments out there? I am still waiting for him to respond. A few days later, an email was sent to his secretary requesting a one-on-one radio interview with me. I outlined the discussion and I would like to have with him, Uncle, which includes full liability coverage, monitoring and scrutinizing operational and investment costs, and ring fencing in the oil sector. I am still waiting for a response, Uncle and Auntie, from the office of the President. God bless you guys and have a great evening. Until Wednesday, I say namaste.